Hey, welcome to the Sit Down. I'm your man, Rod Love. And for those of you who are tuned in, we got a special guest for you this evening. Hold on to your hats. That's a little pun. Hold on to your hats.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna have a hat off here.
There you go, Doc. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. But Doc Polite, how you doing this evening, man?
Hey, how you doing? How was your weekend? I heard you went fishing.
Man, I don't want to talk about that. Hey man, you know what? Since you brought it up, Miss Wynn, I'm gonna go ahead and do my introductions and how you doing, and thank you for co-hosting.
I am doing well, and it's my pleasure.
I see you're the lady in red today.
Yes.
The lady in red.
Yes.
Doc, I'm gonna come back to the fishing thing. And of course, everybody knows Doc Polite, and everybody knows Doc Polite has an array of some nice hats. But I just had to come in and pull one off my hat rack tonight to show him he's not the only one that can kick a brim.
Uh-oh.
But we have with us, and I'm gonna jump back into the fish thing because Doc know what happened this weekend. But we are pleased, and I'm gonna just tell you, it is a privilege to have you in the studio with us, Mr. Lawrence Harris III, y'all, joining us this evening, Doc. Doc, I know you got the sound effects on that end of the world.
Well, we missing part of the team, so of course I didn't have it pulled up, but I can make that happen.
You can make that happen. You can make that happen.
Make it happen.
Hey, you know something else? The reason that makes this even more so special, Mr. Harris, not only did you come here all the way from Jacksonville, but there you go, Doc. We appreciate you, brother. But not only did you come here from Jacksonville to be on the Sit Down, man, I got to give you the utmost respect, man. You are a Air Force veteran.
Yes.
And man, we respect and appreciate your service to this country.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your service, sir.
Of course, Dr. Polite, Army man, and we tell him all the time we appreciate his service, but I can't tell him that too much, man. It gets to his head. It gets to his head. But you know something? Let me hit the fishing thing. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there. To my friend, and I want you to understand me clearly and see these eyes. Bernard, hey man, that's our third time going fishing with you, and that's our third time catching nothing.
Well, you know what that means, right?
I don't know what it means. What it means?
It means the Bernard is not a good fisherman.
Hey man, a blowfish, a catfish.
He don't know where they at. So y'all just out there riding.
He sends us pictures of these big drums. I mean, these drums be this big. Yeah. Hey, Bernard, I'm talking to you, brother.
Is he standing in the aisle of a supermarket?
That's probably where he's at.
Well, you know what? But you know, it can't be unless he's taking them from the fish market, going out to Harlova. That's where we went this weekend. We also went to 520 in Titusville underneath the bridge.
Yeah.
And we went somewhere else, man. We went 3 different places.
Mr. Bernard, please.
Yeah. Did y'all go to the docks? Did you go to the dock?
Man, the places that we went
in the park.
Man, I know we didn't go there.
Oh, okay.
Hey, man, we had crab, we had shrimp, we had squid, and we didn't catch anything. I mean, I'm gonna just say, and Mr. Harris, you are here, and I don't remember the relative that goes to Reverend Richard King's church. The person that engaged you.
That's my sister's best friend.
Oh.
What's the name? Go ahead. Go ahead. Give her a shout out.
Thank you, Janice. I appreciate you.
Miss Janice,
Yes.
and Miss Janice attends St. James AME Church over in Eustis,
Yes.
headed by the leader and in charge. That's Pastor Richard King. But I tell you what, I appreciate, and you say Janice?
Janice.
I appreciate this because we do our research on folks before they come on here.
Yes.
And the more that Miss Wynn dove into this, man, the more I was excited. I mean, I was like looking at this stuff. And for those, hey, Bernard, I'm gonna get off you, Bernard. But what I am gonna say to you, brother, hey man, we need to charter a doggone boat or somewhere or something for whoever's gonna take us out where the fish is at. For real.
I need a trained fish dog.
Well, we got what the other thing we need to do probably is say a prayer before we go out there. But Bernard, hey brother, you know I'm with you, man. But they usually say 3 strikes and
You're out.
you out. We gotta find another fisherman. But that's my boy Bernard. I ain't gonna get on him. But okay, let me turn this thing back around. Hey, Mr. Lawrence Harris the third. Once again, I'm gonna tell you, we're excited to have you. But I have to read this because this is so well written. This helps our audience understand who you are. And nothing against any of our other guests, but this is something that people can use as a blueprint when they want a bio and introductions. But I'm gonna read it right from it. Mr. Lawrence Harris III, storyteller, life coach, and veteran. Lawrence Harris III is an accomplished author, artist, and life coach dedicated to inspiring and empowering individuals. As a distinguished retired Air Force officer, Lawrence's decorated career exemplifies his unwavering commitment to service and leadership. He is a proud alumni, and Attorney Jackson would love this, but he's a proud alumni of Florida State University. You know, give it up, y'all. Even though, did they make a bowl game this year? I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm not gonna talk about that. Hey, I brought you on here to honor you. I ain't gonna do you like that. I ain't gonna do you like that. Where you earned your graduate degree in history and geography, along with a master's of art in human resources development from Webster University. Having completed 2 combat tours in Afghanistan, Lawrence cares for both his nation and his peers. He is deeply passionate about fostering personal growth in others, helping them realize their fullest potential. Lawrence has published numerous books, one of which we're going to talk about. I'm impressed with the cosmetics. I'm impressed with the appearance, and I will be totally honest with you, if nobody else will. We are visual human beings, and there's some books that's probably got all the potential in the world, but and you know what I'm saying about don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
Well, sometimes the cover got to be appealing enough.
Yes.
The title is not enough.
Yes.
And Doc, I don't know if you got this book or not, but the book is so attractive visually that it made me dive into it a little bit. But Mr. Lawrence has published books covering a wide range of topics, including self-help coloring for veterans. I didn't understand that, but I'm gonna have you explain that to me a little bit later. Motivational notebooks and career advice. You're encouraged to explore his release, and that release is what we're gonna be talking about. Cheat codes for smart Black boys. Man, that that title and looking at this book, it drew me. And let's just dive into it. But these are the cheat codes that serve as a guide to help young Black boys navigate challenges and evolve into successful men. Once again, it gives me honor to have you here with us again, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
So, Doc, I don't know that you got this, and thank you for bringing us. We get to keep these, okay? Thank you. But then I also understand. Thank you, Doc. Hey, Doc. I know you might not be able to see this up close, but this is an attractive book, man. And then when you dive into it, it gets even more attractive. But you also have a workbook.
My grandma's a teacher, and I debuted the book at the first family event at for Thanksgiving. And so my grandma's a teacher, and she's like, well, I passed her the electronic version of this, and she read through it, and she come in there with a baby. I'm like, and so she says, well, we need a workbook for this. I'm like, ma'am, it took me 8 months to get here. So now you want a workbook to go with it? She said, well, I need you to go deeper with, basically, if we're going to tell a kid have a relationship with God, let's walk them through how to have a relationship with God.
Man.
And so that's what the workbook was supposed to do, is just help you go a little deeper. Because what I wanted was, I was telling somebody, I said, the money is not why I'm doing this. I want to get this information out. And
But let's walk it back. And Doc, if you can go to Amazon, because I want people, if you could, Doc, to see this cover of this book.
That's why I was going.
Yeah, which was so. You know what? And I gotta say it. We live in a day and age where we'll go to Alexa and Google and tell it to read to us, tell us everything else.
Mhm.
This will make you sit down, whether you eating a snack, drinking
Yes.
something.
Right.
Yes.
And coffee, y'all. I ain't talking about something else. Everybody, y'all handle y'all own business the way you want to handle your business. But this is very, very attractive, and Doc may find it. But first, let me ask you, how did you even get to the point when you're talking? And Doc talks about cheat codes too. So
Mhm.
how did you get here?
My son and my nephew. My son's 13, my nephew's 16. They're gamers,
Okay.
and so try not to get emotional there. I used to play video games with what I call the second generation. They're all 30 now,
Okay.
and I didn't think much of it. I would just go play. I'm in the military, so when I would come home, they would say, no matter how pretty your car was, you would come in the hood, sit with us, and play PlayStation for 8, 9
See,
hours.
hold on. Yeah, I don't think Doc heard that. No matter how pretty your car was, you still went to the hood and played those games with those young folks.
Right. And because then what I got out of that is you have to meet kids where they're at.
Yes, you do.
So my son is a gamer, and so what he does when he comes home, when he comes to hang, because he lives with his mom in Alabama, when he comes to live with me or stay with me, we play Madden. We play Madden. Like the last time we played like 20 or 30 games.
Okay.
And so, that's if you don't understand the game, that's 20 hours I spent with my son. He can't do nothing. I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't on the phone or anything.
But y'all was
About
connected.
15,
Yeah. Yeah.
So we would talk during that
Yeah.
time. So my son beats me. And so that's not real happy about that, but he beats me.
So legitimately beat you. Not that you let him win.
No, we stopped doing that 2 years ago. And so, yeah, I actually gotta come in there with plays now. But hold on. So while I'm practicing for him, I play Call of Duty.
Okay.
And so to keep my hand speed up, because he is now destroying me.
Gotcha.
So only way you can beat me in Call of Duty is use a cheat code.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I says, okay. So I was talking to my nephew who was 16 and brilliant kid. And he says, yeah, you need a cheat code, Uncle Lawrence. I said, I'm not using a cheat code. And he says, you have to use a cheat code. I said, it'll give you an advantage.
Man, okay.
And so I said, what if, hold on, I got something. What if I give y'all the cheat codes to America? Because relatively, as you lay out everything, I'm a relatively successful black man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. And so I said, I'm going to give you all the cheat codes. And a lot of it was based off of sitting on the porch with my grandfather over in Eustis. And then also sitting over in Sanford. My grandfather, I call him grandfather, but he's my grandma's second husband.
Okay.
And he owned cleaners over there on 13th Avenue in Sanford. So they would always instill little things in me. And so that's what the cheat code was. I'd gotten the cheat codes to life from them. Okay, because like I would always tell my counterparts, be it our white brothers and sisters or our Hispanic brothers and sisters, you cannot work me.
Gotcha.
And the guy's like, well, how do you know that? I was like, you ever thrown a watermelon? And he looked. I said, have you ever picked a watermelon up on the field and talked to somebody?
Yeah, Doc, I'm listening to this. Yeah.
And he looked at me. He's like, huh? I'm like, dude, I work.
So you're a true Florida boy.
I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, I can relate.
Worked in the watermelon fields. Worked in the orange groves. My grandfather was what's called a watermelon contractor. And so what you do is what comes out of being in agriculture is you just learn to work. And I like 108 degrees in a trailer, and we throwing watermelons in there. With Mr. One Tooth, and Mr. One Tooth, he was hard on me. He's like, because my granddaddy came with Lawrence, you in charge. I'm 16. This dude, I know he has to have at least, was he 50?
Oh, wow.
But the whole point is that you had to get a work ethic. And so what I did is my dad's dad was the impetus behind this, because he always said a black man needs to be a man. A black man needs a job. A black man once you get a job, Lawrence, you get a car, and then you get a house, and then the ladies start talking to you as long as you have to walk with you.
Yeah.
You know, and so
Right.
and those are the things that he said. So what I did is went back into the book, updated it to modern times, and bugged my nephew and my son for about 6 from this has been done since last March.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, what about this? What do you think about that? I don't like that, Daddy. I don't like that, Uncle Lawrence. And what we did was, start at the top. You need a relationship with God. And the second cheat code is you need to know your heritage. And you all know what I heard you doing politics out there. I can't participate in that part. But know your heritage. Know who you are as a black man.
So this dives into you getting to know yourself, particularly as you said, as a black man.
Yes.
So I'm real elementary. You say the second is, I don't know if that's chapter 2 or the second cheat code, but show me that in this book. What?
Chapter 2, right? Cheat code.
So that's in the workbook and here.
Yes.
Okay. So
what happens is that you read here, and the workbook will take you through little true false, help you reinforce it.
So you need this.
Yes. Gotta have this book. Gotta have this book.
This to
to go to this.
Okay. Well, Doc, I'm gonna stop him right there because and Miss Williams, we got some work to do because while I'm gonna stop you right there, we actually are so impressed with you taking the time to do this that we're gonna have to run back around to Amazon real quick because what we did through Let's Talk Nation is this was so impressive that we immediately went and bought 20 of your workbooks.
Thank you.
So Ms. Lynn, what we're gonna need to do is we need to today go to Amazon, cancel that order, do 10 workbooks and 10 main books.
Okay.
Because they both go together.
Right.
Okay.
So we got that will fix. But just so you know,
Appreciate you all. Thank you.
no, man, but this show, and I'm gonna have Doc chime in here with Miss Wynn, but man, this show is about doing, and we like to support folk, and we don't have the resources to do it for everybody and overdo it. But I see this man as something that once you know how you got to measure outcomes. Well, and I'll say this too, and Doc, you know where I'm going with this, and Miss Wynn, you heard us talk about this, and I'm not ignoring Miss Wynn, but this big thing now about responsible fatherhood.
Right.
I love how it comes across, but to me, there's an evolution to responsible fatherhood. Anybody can be a father.
Right.
When you were saying how you would get with your son and y'all doing 20 hours of Madden, you're no longer a father. You've evolved to being that daddy. That daddy who makes emotional connection.
Yeah.
And so I'm just real impressed with where you are here. But now walk me through, because now I know how both of these work.
Right.
Well, hold on, because I got a question. What inspired? What need did you see that prompted you to create this?
My son and my nephew are very, very smart kids.
Mm-hmm.
No common sense. I love them. I do. But I'm like, I sent them on a mission. And I said, y'all go get me X. And then they bought back Y. They bought back Z. And I'm looking at like, between the both of y'all are going to go out and do some wonderful things in the world. Y'all think it is right? And it's like, nah. I said, it was a simple task. It wasn't over. I think it was to go get ice cream. They kept going past the ice. My family used to do cruises for Thanksgiving. So what we did was, I'm like, hey, y'all go get me some ice cream. Don't put no sprinkles on this bring me vanilla ice cream. I don't ask y'all for much. I try not to bother you. But because I was doing something else. My goal is I don't want to be the daddy that's like, you always sending me stuff. I'm like, nah, and you just go handle this little bit.
Yeah.
So 20 minutes later, I come back. I'm like, with the ice cream, we can't find it. Okay. So I said, come on, I found it. We got a field trip. And I said, the reason I asked y'all to do it because it was right outside the door.
Right outside the door.
He said, my nephew looked at my son, and I said, don't worry about it. they keep saying we don't have common sense. Come on, man.
But you know what? Hey Doc, Ms. Wynn,
Mhm.
you know, I like your play on words.
Mhm.
In particular, with the fact, and we've never heard this on the show before, but it exists. When you said your son and his buddy, they're smart,
Mhm.
but got no doggone common sense.
But
And we
listen. This is a key thing that we have to remember about this. This generation has not been taught critical thinking on any real level. See, when we were coming up, your grandfather or your dad would ask you, "Well, why you think that that horse kicked like that, or this chicken ran?" You had to engage your mind,
Yeah,
Right.
and even on a basic level, so you learn to think through problems early on.
Mhm.
And your grandma might say, "You watch me hang up the clothes. Now you go out there and hang up the clothes. Let me see you hang up the clothes." Even though it was simple, it was teaching you to think and follow steps in order.
you're
Now
right.
the kids don't do that.
But and Doc, that was critical thinking when
Right. We didn't
back
call it
then,
critical thinking, but it
critical
was.
thinking wasn't even in our vocabulary.
Right.
No, it wasn't.
But it taught you to make decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I told him that's what I was saying to him. I'm like, I wouldn't have sent you on nothing hard without more instruction.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, and he said, we got lost. And I'm like, I got it, man. Don't worry about it. And so we were just talking. I'm like, I gotta help y'all. And so, because we were talking about maintaining, we were maintaining your social economics where
Mhm.
you're at. And my nephew's like, what's that mean? I said, if you grow up in poverty, you at least should go to college and make it to the middle class. And he's like, okay. He's basically what he said is that cool. And then my son like, what am I going to do? I like, you in the middle class, you got to stay here. Okay. So now what do you do? And I said, okay, here, I'm gonna teach you first what you need to do to survive in a world, the multicultural work environment. And that's over in 14 and 15. Doc and I were both in the military. Okay. The only reason I didn't finish a little higher because I was being dumb. I own it now. I'm the reason I didn't finish at least lieutenant colonel or higher. But what I did learn was what you do as a military officer, how to smile when you walk in the room so you seem engaging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I teach my kids here. Posture, how you posture. Kevin Hart say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
You need to say it with your chest.
Yeah.
Because that will make people think that you understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in this part of the book, it talks about body mechanics, how we move as Black men, how you came in with your suit on. I said, okay, he's in charge. I look over here, I see the hat. I like, he's in charge. How's everybody doing? This wave at me with a smile. I like,
Hey, you know what? I love this. For those of you who are tuned in, you're listening to Mr. Lawrence Harris III, the author of Cheat Codes for Smart Black Boys. And we're gonna let you have the show because what you're saying is rich.
Yes.
One of the things when you said you walked in and posture, delivery is everything. When you walked in, you saw me and said, okay, that brother right there with the hat is in charge. And then you saw Doc Polite and you saw his presentation. Another brother with a hat, you say he's in charge. The problem with that is me and Doc, man, we butt heads with two brothers. But
that goes to the Christian thing. Iron sharpens iron. You need each other.
Yeah.
he must be listening to our show,
Yeah.
Doc.
Yeah.
You hear that? That is
But
something.
see,
Go ahead,
the thing that the military also teaches is when to lead and when to follow.
Right.
And that is key. See, when you're in the presence of someone who may have more experience or a deeper connection with what's going on, you can. It's okay to acquiesce to them.
Yeah.
And Rod, we've been in that situation.
Yeah,
We've been in some rooms where I sit over there. I don't open my mouth until you turn to me. You pivot to me and say, Doc, pick it up from here. And so that's what you are in that regards. I'm not there to be the main attraction. I'm there to support whatever Rod has assigned me as my part in that mission. And
And
that's
Doc-
the role that people don't understand.
And you know, Doc is hitting on. I mean, because as a team, we all have our talents,
Right.
Yes.
and I could try to dabble into a level of expertise of Doc's or Miss Williams' talent, but I'm doing what we're trying to accomplish a great injustice if I do that.
Right.
And, you know, for those of you who are watching, if you got a question, if you want to comment or a statement about this discussion, hey, please don't hesitate to call in. That phone number is area code 407-921-6195. Doc, that's a good point. Back to you, Mr. Harris.
And so pretty much what I did was I live a positive life. Like I was talking with Miss Lynn, I have PTSD. So I have to find positive in everything. Because I mean, there are days that I'm not nice to people. So I will own that.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing is I was telling my son and my nephew, I said, every day I wake up, something good's gonna happen.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know I would meet you all, but I told your niece about the book when she came to the house. Okay, anybody come to my mama's house, I'm like, hey, here's the book. You know, and so you got it. I had to get word of mouth, and I said, but something positive gonna come out of this. And so my son, he's like, Daddy, everything doesn't work out. I said, if you think that way, it won't.
You're right. You're right.
And so we go to Orlando International, and he gets stuck. And he got to fly at 7. I'm in line at 5:30. 5 o'clock. We got 2 hours. I think we're gonna make it through, no big deal. We sat in that line for 2.5 hours, and he missed his plane.
Oh.
So we are running down the concourse, and he's actually a little faster than I thought. So anyway, so we get there, and he said, he turns to me, he says, Dad, I thought everything everything works out.
Yeah.
And I said, oof, little boy, don't hit this boy. But the whole point was, I took a deep breath. I said, good things always happen for you, Daddy. And I turned to the guy. I said, hey, he has to make a connection to get the money out. I don't want to have to talk to his mom about this. Is there anything you can do?
Yeah.
He says, if you run from here to date 70 or whatever, you can get on the next plane. So I run him down there, we have hugs. I said, I'll talk to you later. So they get home on the exact plane, same time. I call him, I said, I know, Dad, I know. Everything works out.
Yeah. And that's
You
the
didn't
most,
even
yeah.
have to say it.
And I said, you gotta always remember good things are gonna happen. And we weren't taught that as Black people.
Yeah.
We just weren't.
Yeah.
And so for me, I live a life where I know something good's gonna happen. Even in the darkest of clouds, I know that something's gonna happen.
Wow.
And that's what I tried to get this across. That's why that we had to have the workbook for that part. And so most people, you like, your life is bad, things are happening. I'm like, man, I've had a little bit of everything happen to me in my life. But go ahead, Doc.
I want to stop you here. I got something for you because you preaching right now.
Yeah.
You hard down preaching. Okay. We're gonna have to send out a collection plate in a minute. But I want y'all to catch this. I hope I can get it up here. All right. Can y'all see that?
No, it's nothing on the screen.
Okay.
While Doc is working that out, let me just go ahead and say, we have purchased 5 of the actual books and workbooks, and those 5 will go to the first 5 people that called into the show. Once again, that number is 407-921-6195. Okay, Doc, what you got on the
God
screen?
ain't ready, then it ain't time. If he not ready, then it's just not time for it.
Oh, I see that.
Oh man, I was supposed to have this and this at this time. If it ain't done, it ain't time, yo.
Man, that's deep.
I gotta realize you have to wait on God.
Right.
Yes.
And then guess what? You wanna go and you wanna do it by yourself. And you mess up every time. Why? Because you don't wait on God. When God is ready, that is when the time is ready. That is when it's the right time. When God is ready. And you can't rush God. You can't rush him. So I want to let y'all know. Wait on God.
Hey,
For a young person to
Doc, that was on point.
Yes.
That's on point, right? Yes.
That was on point.
That was right on point, Doc. Hey,
Yeah.
and you know what? I gotta say this.
Yeah.
Well, that was a young person presenting and saying you got to wait on God. If
Mhm.
things are not happening for you when you think they should happen,
Mhm.
don't get mad, don't get upset. But you know what? That's me. Upset, uptight, thinking that it's supposed to happen when I expect for it to happen. And that, Doc, while you put it
Listen,
out there, and that was a young person, that was speaking to me too.
that video ministered to me all weekend. I found it like Saturday, early Saturday morning. And I just played it over and over because that is exactly what we do.
Yeah.
We want everything right then, when we want it, how we want it, and we have an expectation. We painted a picture, how it's supposed to come, and then we get upset when our picture doesn't materialize.
Yep.
And this is what you were having that conversation with your son about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's gonna come. You had faith that what was working out was what was supposed to work out,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
and that's a life lesson.
And you know what? To that point too, you know, people see this. They see Miss Wynn, they see Doc, and they see what they subscribe to be the finished project that has made it. But one of the things they don't see is they don't see how many times we failed.
Right.
They don't see the work that is going into that. And you know, I got to keep on really touting this. This book, which is the cheat codes for smart black boys in America. This is something that if you don't have it, I would highly encourage you to go to Amazon and this book, $14. The workbook, $10.
Yeah, yeah.
This is powerful, man. And you know, Doc has kind of pulled out of you, how did you get here to do this? But man, and Doc, yes, I think we're gonna run over today, and I ain't gonna be mad about it. I ain't gonna be. You about to set a record because normally I keep Doc and Miss Wynn on point, but this is so powerful today that we're gonna talk about it. So Doc, what else? Miss Wynn, what?
I still need to know, how did you design this cover? Where did this cover come from? Because Mr. Love says it's appealing.
I'm an artist by trade.
Okay.
Okay. I learned how to use AI, and so I was sitting in the I think I was in the airport and I said I'm trying to figure out what kind of cover, but the cheat code it needed to be computer based.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I want a black boy playing video games in a futuristic world, but I needed him to have his headphones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so ChatGPT spit this out.
Well, you know what? I gotta say this to you. When I first saw this, first thing I thought was ChatGPT AI. The reason being is, while I use it, Ms. Wynn uses it, Doc uses it, but Doc does a lot of this, and when I saw it, it had the tappings, if you would.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what people don't realize too is, as you get to know ChatGPT, you got to continue to pull out of it what you want. You didn't do this one time, I'm sure. You got to prompt. You got to keep pulling. And Doc is done. So it is appealing. And when I say attractive,
Yes.
I see you got to.
What is the men around?
Yeah. I see the doctor, a young kid with a stethoscope around his neck. By the way, my daughter be graduating nursing school in August, and I'm, she can check her daddy blood pressure now sometime because they make it high. And it looks like this is a lawyer, Air Force. Yeah. Hey, and as you mentioned, this kid with the earphones on, and I'm trying to figure out the background, man, because it's doing a lot of things.
It's an alien invasion.
Okay.
And so what happened is that he is playing a video game, and I put him in his video game.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now you gotta, like you said, me and Chat may sit together for 2 or 3 hours. I don't know. It may be 30 or 40 goals.
Yeah.
Okay. Then because you gotta watch the fingers and things of that nature. But then I'm a graphic designer, so once I get these elements, then I go on Adobe and I make what I need.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, because I call the lady. I say, hey, ma'am, I need 6 pictures. I need a doctor, a lawyer, a fighter pilot. I said a scientist of some sort, entrepreneur, and a resume. And well, when she told me $5,000, I'm like, well, Chad, you gonna have to work today. I said, you know. And so what I did with Chad is I went through and got the elements that I like. And it was a lot of reps. And then I put it together. My nephew, the way the book looked before was it was just this card with cheat codes across the top and the 35 tricks. So my nephew called me, and it was 18 hours to get to that point. He's like, "No, Uncle Lawrence, I don't like it." I'm like, what don't you like? And he's like, "Well, it doesn't tell the story." I'm like, "What do you mean? If I'm going to use these cheat codes, what can I get out of it?"
Oh, so you can get your doctor, your lawyer.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, and see that sticks out. And I know Doc is looking at this, but the cover sticks out. Doctor, lawyer, Air Force, military. Then you got a weatherman. You have somebody who looks like they're chemists or something. And what the middle picture?
He is an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur, but it also shows the diversity from the standpoint of the optics, because those days of clean cut, shaved, those days are going. And I think it goes back to, when MLK said you're going to have to get to a point to judge a person on the merits, of their talents. And you look at that, and that says it. But, I'm just, going through this, man, and I'm looking at some things. A lot of these folk, I don't know, particularly young folk, they've heard the name of Muhammad Ali before. And I see you have a famous quote in here where he talks about there's nothing wrong with getting knocked down as long as you get right back up. And it's, quoted by Muhammad Ali. Well, a lot of these folks don't have that history of Muhammad Ali, but the quote to me is common sense. To me is inspirational and aspirational. But then as I just flip through the pages, I see you have a poem in here, a poem of who am I? And if you don't mind, I was gonna recite it, but I think no, this is your time because people need to hear this. So if you would recite that, because that's powerful.
Who am I? I am as dark as 6 past midnight, or light enough to pass for white. Often misunderstood, the subject of many debates. I'm an endangered species. I'm also a survivor. I made it through the Middle Passage and the Civil Rights Movement. I'm the essence of a lost culture, stolen from the dark continent. With my bare hands, I helped build this nation we call the United States of America. I gave America its rhythm. I also gave America the light bulb and the traffic light. I've been degraded more times than I care to remember. Good for nothing, lazy, shiftless, are just a few superlatives. I carry the weight of an entire race of people on my back. My every accomplishment and success is one more step to help uplifting my people. With education, I'm considered dangerous. Even though racism and oppression act as obstacles, I've been able to overcome and lead my people. Without me, my children are lost. Without me, without me, my children are lost. My race is lost. America is lost. Who am I? A black man.
Man, that is powerful. That is powerful. I gotta kind of recognize one of my friends who, and I don't know if any of y'all, well, I know a lot of y'all probably watched the Don Miller show. Don is a great friend, but Don just recently did a show. And I'm going to look into the camera and say this. Don, your show was right on point when you said the key thing that America needs, but the key thing that Black communities need is education, education, education. And you hit the nail on the head because this all circles around education. The ills of the Black community circles around education. And boy, I don't know if it's coincidental or this is by design, but having you here, I hope it pushes people forward.
Yes.
Doc and Miss Wynn, they've asked you some questions, man, and you knocked them out the park, by the way. But I had to say this because I'm gonna send a clip of this to Don Miller, and hopefully you'll get an invitation. Don is rough though. I'm gonna tell you, Don is gonna. Hey, Doc, am I lying? Am I lying, Doc? Don gonna take this
Don
book.
Miller make Don Miller make preachers cuss.
Oh yeah. Hey, Don Miller make preachers curse, and he makes some of them cry too.
Yeah.
Hey, but I mean, in all seriousness, Don is the kind of cat. We got different styles. I love Don to death. Don's style would be, while I'm taking this book and I'm saying to people, here's something that you need to engage in. Don's gonna take this book. Hey, folks, this is what you need to actually move forward.
Right.
He ain't gonna say that.
But
He
you know,
gonna
that was one
he gonna
conversation
enlighten
we
us
had
and
out-
illustrate.
Hey, that's to put it mildly.
That was one conversation we had out in the hallway, Mr. Love, was education.
Mhm.
And you always tell your kids, education is one thing that nobody can take away from you.
You're right. You're right.
You have to get it when you can get it.
Man, this is powerful.
Yeah. I even like how you rock your new suit like a pro.
This one is my pet peeve. I apologize to anybody, but Ethan's my son, and his mama put him a brand new suit on. You can tell Daddy's not in town. So my pet peeve is that little patch right there.
Oh, that was supposed to come off.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah.
And so what I did is everything that's supposed to come off your suit is on page 22 before you go to church. It bothers me to walk in and you see the stitching.
See, you
See,
but see, the
love
thing,
that.
hey, and I'm gonna say I've been guilty because you know one area that sometimes I forget to undo on a brand new suit
Okay.
is the tail.
Yes, the
The-
vents.
The vents.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what, man? You hitting everything on point. But I got to go here because this book contains a lot of information. For those of you who are watching, I don't know if you heard him recite one of the poems that's in this book. There's a workbook that goes along with it. This is the cheat code for smart black boys. But I got to recite this real quick. As a black man, as a black boy growing up into a black man, you carry a rich history and a powerful legacy. Being a black boy is something to be proud of. Your skin is a canvas of history. Your voice, a song of the past, present, and the future. As you grow into a man, carry this pride with you. Respect yourself. Love your heritage and always honor the legacy of those who came before you. I'm going to repeat that. Always honor the legacy of those who came before you. Your blackness is a gift. It connects you to a community that has overcome challenges and made significant contributions to the world in science, music, sports, literature, and so much more.
Yes.
See, you speaking truth to people,
Yes.
and I tell you this because man, you got my mind just going, and that's a hard thing to do. But I'm thinking about the fact that you're highlighting so many things about who we are
Yeah.
and who we step away from being when it's time to step up.
Right.
You know, I've been in rooms with other black people who shrink into the wall in the presence of white people or people with money. Okay, I can't live that. That's not me. I don't shrink from anybody. Rod will tell you, wherever I go, I know I'm in the top 5% of people in that room, especially when it comes to brain power. So I don't ever acquiesce to other people. I'm agreeable, I'm cordial, but I'm not going to treat you like, I got to bow down to you because you're here. We need to teach that.
And
We
that's-
need to teach that because too many. I'm speaking truth. Too many black people get in spaces and we automatically take a secondary position.
Right.
It's like it's almost like it's ingrained in our culture,
Right.
and we've got to stop that. Okay.
And to help you with that one, Doctor, because that's one of my issues with Ethan. Ethan lives in Alabama, in Montgomery. And I think the only time I'm angry with him is would you look the person in the nose. Look right here. Look at the nose.
Mhm.
Black, white, green, purple. You will look them at the nose, shake their hand.
Mhm.
Stop acting like you're subservient here in Alabama.
Mhm.
And I mean, I don't understand. Listen to me, young man.
Yeah.
I'm not asking.
Yeah.
You just because you live here don't mean you less than.
Right.
You know what? And Miss Wynn, I gotta say this because we were talking about this, I don't know, a couple of shows ago. What you're describing here is he lives within a culture,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
we had this conversation all the time. Sometimes me and Doc might get so locked into this cultural aspect that, but I'll go here and I'm gonna leave this alone. Especially, and Doc, you know where I'm gonna go. Especially, we've already talked about responsible fatherhood, and I believe the end result of responsible fatherhood should be the evolution to that dad. I love my daughters, dad. I got a connection with my daughters. I know most of the time when something bothering them, when something's wrong, when they're happy, when they're so I know that. But the other part of where we go with this, and this might be controversial to some people, and I'll say this to the day I die. We need more fathers. I don't care black, white, red, or blue, but we're focusing on where it needs to go the most, and we're talking about the black community. We need more fathers to put aside whatever is going on
Yes.
with their baby's mothers.
Right.
But we also need those baby mothers to stop this foolery
Right.
with these daddies.
Yes.
But
Yes.
here's the other thing that we really need the most. We need these fathers to step up and engage their children, because I will say this, and this is the controversial piece. Those mothers do a good job with raising them boys, but one job they can never ever do. Come on, brother. You gotta say that loud. Let me
Show them they can show them how to be a man.
Yeah.
Now me and my
but a lot of women take offense to that. They don't understand.
I don't mind it.
No, I'm just saying, I don't pay no mind, because I don't listen. It's like this, and I say this to any woman: you're not going to talk to me with a tone of disrespect and indifference. I don't care where you come from. That's not who I am as a man. Okay, I'm going to check you. If you get too belligerent, we done. Okay, if you put your hand on me, I fight everybody. I tell them, don't hit me, because the most violent, the most disrespectful thing you could do is hit someone because they don't agree with you, or do what you want. I don't believe in physical violence, and I know women that can beat men. So that old thing about don't hit a woman.
Let me do this. Go ahead, Ms. Speak.
I know we were into this book here, but Mr. Harris, you do have another book underneath there.
Yeah, I grabbed it on accident. I have PTSD, and I've already said it. So what I did, Dr. Polite, is these are my coloring books. Okay, and it's the Army one. So I made one for every service. So that's the Army. And so what I do for my coloring.
Wait a minute, that's the Army one.
That's the Army one. You see the color black, the gold and black, all at the top. Okay. The veteran is in black, in y'all colors.
Okay.
So explain this, because I saw this in your bio about coloring books for
people with PTSD.
Okay.
I need to calm down some days.
Okay.
So go ahead and say it again.
You know why that works, Rod?
No, I'm
go ahead, talk, Doc.
Yeah.
It works because you micro focus when you do coloring books.
You're micro focus.
And see, I got ADHD and PTSD. No, I'm serious.
Yes.
And so for just PTSD, that will work. I've seen that in therapy. Okay. But it's hard. Like this morning I got up and created an app to help me with focus because of ADHD. When I have multiple projects going, it's hard to shift and laser focus. So I devised a program this morning, and I got to finish it tonight, but it will pull me off task and move me on to the next one.
Right.
So
And
what I was curious about is when I saw in your bio, coloring, and Doc just explained what he said, micro. So is micro focus a evidence based or research based?
yes, and
It's research based.
Okay.
yeah, and this is also treatment for Alzheimer's.
Right.
They
Okay.
get all people with Alzheimer's to
Yes, you're right.
do that.
You're right. Yep.
And,
That's right.
and so what I did in the book was my counselor tell me I need to journal.
Mhm.
And so one day I was journaling, and then I got the coloring, and then I'm like, I actually feel good. So, because I looked at what I journaled, I'm like, yeah, the day sucked. And then I looked right here after I colored,
Yeah.
it was a different day. I'm like, so what I did, Doc, was I put down journal, color, journal. Tell me how you feel before, journal, color, and then tell me how you feel after. After you finish coloring. And what you do is you don't have to finish the coloring page. That's what I keep telling everybody. But what you will do is you'll start to see how you do it. Well, it doesn't improve your day.
Yeah, and
Go ahead. I never been on with a
part
PhD, so it's good.
of art. Listen, that's a combination of art therapy and CBT, cognitive behavior therapy.
Right.
So it works. You know, a lot of people think that when you go to a counselor that you do one style of therapy, and you don't. You pull from each discipline or sub-discipline within counseling that can address the presenting problem. So that art therapy helps you to slow down your mind, not have those intrusive thoughts from PTSD, and micro focus on that little movement with your hand. Okay, and you're doing it over and over and over again, and that reduces the stress.
I'll tell you what, this has really been impressive. I want to make sure our audience know what we were talking about doing this show. And we have Mr. Lawrence Harris III, who is the author, also a Air Force, and I said that right, Air Force veteran, and author of the Cheat Codes for Smart Black Boys. And it has a workbook that goes along with it. And you've also talked about the coloring book, which when I saw that in your bio, I'm gonna just tell you, I was like, coloring book. What it has, he got to navigate me with this,
Right.
and of course, Doc and Miss Wynn always got to get my back to help me not fall as far. And now I understand it even better. But man, I tell you, the cheat codes for small black boys. And by the way, once again, Let's Talk Nation in collaboration with the Sitdown, we will buy 5 copies of the cheat code for black boys with the workbook. So if you want to sit down with your young person and go through this process, you're more than welcome. The way that you get it, it goes out to the first 5 people that call into the show. And that number is 407-921-6195. Mr. Harris, I want to thank you once again for spending the time to come from Jacksonville to come on the show. Give a shout out to Janice, is it?
Janice, thank you, Janice. Yes,
Hey,
thank you, Janice.
this is the whole.
And I apologize for talking about the chair force. You are a true soldier. So I apologize.
Hey,
Because you're the realest Air Force person I met.
yeah.
Now,
So,
I
you know,
did do it with the Army, so
Yeah.
I like so it was cool.
You know, man, thank you.
Yes.
You are doing the work that all 3 of us are very passionate about.
Yes, yes.
And it aligns so well with what our individual goals and visions are. And we always are happy to have other people going down that same road. You ain't got to do it the way we do it. It just do it. And you have taken that serious. You are out there putting a roadmap for young black men.
Well, tell you what
And that's
I want to do is, because we got to make a transition.
Mhm.
Mr. Harris, if you would look into that red light and let people know how they can get a hold of you, how they can get your book. And once again, I got to tell you, you always be welcome back here, man.
Thank you. How you doing, Lawrence Harris? You can reach me at lawharris3@gmail.com. I'm pretty much watch that every day. Or you can get me at 904-304-7709. I'm not probably going to answer on that first go, so leave a voice message. either voice message or text me, and then I'll get back with you. I am happy to speak to any crowd and just enjoy getting this information out. The one thing I will close on is chapter 5. A black man needs good credit. That's what I want to make sure that's in.
Yes, okay, you're right. You're right. And that's chapter 5.
That's chapter 5.
Hey, y'all heard it from Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Look, our objective is to help people, and that's what this is all about. Mr. Harris, once again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes.
For those of you, we'll be right back here next week on the Sit Down. We're gonna make that transition to Let's Talk Nation with the General Attorney Greg Jackson. But man, I tell you, you brought some information in here. I told you, we like to be able to measure what it is we do, and man, this is something that it can set the benchmark, and we can measure and we can get outcomes.
Thank you.
So
thank you,
keep doing your great work that you're doing, and you're always welcome at the Sit Down.
Thank you. But
Very
I
well.
appreciate you all. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you.
Hey, Doc.
Doc, thank you.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.